We have created some component families that will make up our HVAC systems. We have also configured the system families, which are the ducts and pipes that will interconnect the components. In this video, we'll place the components. So open the file you used in the previous video or device placement in the chapter 3 exercise files folder. So launch Revit, navigate to the exercise files, and from the chapter 3 folder, open this file, device placement, which I have here open. Go to the insert ribbon and click the load family button. Then navigate to the exercise files again. From the chapter 2 folder, bring in the three families we created in the previous chapter, which are supply diffuser, return diffuser, and the ceiling ducted 4-pipe fan coil unit. Next, we will load the primary plant equipment, which are the pumps, the boilers, and chillers. So click the load family button again. This time navigate to the out of the box folder, water side components, which you can find under mechanical MEP water side components, and load the following. From the boilers folder, we'll bring in the hot water boiler 59 to 440 kilowatts. From the chillers folder, we'll bring in the screw chiller air cooled 70 to 193 kilowatts. And from the pumps folder, we'll bring in pump base mounted. The systems analysis report of chapter 1 informed the decision on the equipment sizing. So just to show you how we came about the size of this equipment, if we go to the system analysis report and you go to the equipment summary section from the table of content, you see the equipment summary. So from here you can see the capacity for the chiller and the boiler. You can see we need just about 44 kilowatts for chiller and about 41 kilowatts for boiler. If you scroll down, you also see the capacity for the pumps as well as the flow that we need to achieve for the entire facility. So you can see the pumps, you can see the water flow that we need and whatnot. So all these has informed this equipment sizing that we brought into the project. So now we'll start by placing the supply diffusers. So open the ground floor reflected ceiling plan, then go to the systems ribbon and launch the air terminal command. Make sure place on face is the option on the placement panel, and then from the type selector here, search for supply diffuser, which we just loaded. Then select 300 by 300 millimeter 150 millimeter neck size. You can also click edit type and confirm that the size is correct. You can see the diffuser height, width, and neck size. So now we need to place 3 in the guest zone. To save time, I've already marked the exact location where I want to place this. So you can see one in the guest room and one for each of the adjacent restrooms. Now, in a project, if you don't have this kind of reference, you can still use the align tool to align these air terminals to the ceiling grids, which typically come with the architectural mode. Next, we will set the flow for the diffusers. So to do that, we need to open the space schedule we created earlier, and then we'll tie the two views. So to do that, I'll close all these tabs as well as this one here. Then I will open the space schedule from the project browser here, and I'll tile the two views. So go to the view ribbon and click tile views. Now we need to select each air terminal and specify an approximate flow based on the schedule. So by the time you come here, you see this for the guest zone, you see the guest zone as well. So you see by the time I select this, you see the various spaces. So from this schedule, we already have the specified supply airflow. For the guest room, you can see that this is our 230 8.3 liter per second. So if I select this air terminal, I'll put in an approximate value. So I can put in a value of 239. Then for this one, I'll put in a value of 47. And for this one, I'll put in a value of 44. So next, we will place the return diffuser. So we'll go back to this floor plan. I've already specified the location. So this time around, I will launch the air terminal again from the systems ribbon. Click air terminal, confirm place on face, and then I'll search for return diffuser, and I'll select 300 by 300 150 next size again. Then I'll place it at this spot. Now for this centers, we only have one return air terminal. So because of that, we need to match the total actual supply airflow in the zone with the total return airflow. So what we'll have now is, by the time we put in all this value, you can see the actual values. So you can see the specified value, and this is the actual supply. So for this entire zone, we have about 330 liters per second. So because we have only one return, we need to match the return airflow to the supply. So now I'll come here and I'll put in a value of 330 for this air terminal. And now you can see that the actual return and the actual supply are the same. So next, we need to place the zone equipment, which is the fan coil unit. So for me to place that, I will launch the ground floor plan. You can close this for now. So to save time as well, I've also outlined the exact location. So this time I will launch mechanical equipment from the systems ribbon and not air terminal. Then this is a non-hosted item. So from the type selector here, I'll search for the fan coil system or the fan coil units I loaded in, I created in the previous chapter. And then because it's a non-hosted item, I don't have the option of choosing placement and whatnot. It will host to the level. So now I need to confirm that the size is what I want. So I'll check, and this what I need is 900 by 600 by 400, which is correct. So now I'll set the schedule level to ground floor, and then the elevation to 300, elevation from level to 3.3 meters. So I'll place it where I want it to be located, which is here. So now we need to cut a section. Typically, this is best practice. You want to cut the section, or sometimes you can use a 3D section as well to validate that the equipment is at the correct height. So I'll just quickly create a section that cuts through this equipment, and then I'll open it. So now you can see that this equipment sits right where we want it to be. This is the beam or slab or the upper floor, wherever it's going to host to. We need to make sure that it's properly hosted. So typically on a project, you coordinate with the architectural team to guarantee enough space in the ceiling to accommodate the HVAC services. So you can see the air terminal, you can see the mechanical equipment. Now if you select this mechanical equipment, unlike the air terminal that will specify the airflow, you will notice that the airflow is not editable. And that is because we've set this to calculated in the family. So for a parent component for this system, it actually have to calculate from the child components when we physically connect them. So that is why this is currently grayed out. The moment we connect the child components, which are the air terminals, it will calculate and populate this value. But then you can notice that the water side, this is actually the child component. The components are the plant is the parent to this. So that is why I'll have to preset. When we get to that stage, we preset the water flow for all the various water systems. At this point, you will want to repeat this workflow for the other 10 zones to place the air terminal and zone equipment. So to make things easy, I've already marked all the locations in exercise files. So by the time you go to the ceiling plan, you will see the markup just to make things easy. And this for the earth terminals. For the ground floor, you will see the locations for the equipment. So next, we need to move to the plant room to place the chiller, boilers, and all that. So if you open this ground floor HVAC plan, I've also marked the locations just to ease things up. So again, I'll go to the systems ribbon here and I'll launch mechanical equipment. This time, you also need to make sure that the schedule level is ground floor, but we need to set it to 0 because this is sitting on the ground floor level. So now we need to place 2 chillers here, 2 boilers here, and 6 pumps here. So we'll start with the chillers. We'll search for chillers here, and for the chiller we'll go for the 70 to 88 kilowatts. So we pick this, confirm that everything is fine, then we'll place them at these locations that are marked up. Place 2 instances. Next we'll go for the boiler. For the boiler we'll use the 59 kilowatts because all we need is just about 41. So we'll place this at this location. Doesn't have to be exact, so I can just copy this and place somewhere around here. And then I launch mechanical equipment. Shortcut is ME. This time I need to place the pumps, so I'll search for pump, and then we'll go for the base mount pump. You also need to be sure of the size, so we'll go for the 6.3 liter per second. What we actually need is about 1.1 thereabouts, so we'll go for the smallest one we have here. Then we'll place 6 instances at these locations. Now you can place devices for HVAC systems. Before you proceed to the following video, place all the air terminals and zone equipment in all 11 zones in the building. Use the completed file in the Chapter 3 exercise files folder as a reference.